And a very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Issues and Attitudes. My name is Jeff Owens, interim GM at WEIU. My co-host still on campus, Annalisa Haynes.
Hey, everyone.
How are you today?
I'm very good.
Very good?
Yep.
Yeah, all right. And our guest is a very special man on this campus. He's our president, EIU President, Dr. David Glassman.
That's great to be here, Jeff and Annalisa. Great to see you both.
Good to see you on this Monday. The semester has kind of wrapped up. Grades are all due today and all that kind of stuff. So we'll just kind of recap some of 2018 and let us, talk about the good and hopefully and more as we look forward to 2019, even better, a better 2019. But as you look on 2018, Dr. Glassman, what kind of tops your mind?
Well, it's really been a really great year for EIU. But before we even talk about it, I just want to wish everybody happy holiday and an awesome new year coming up to all of your listeners as well as everybody in the university community. But last year was a wonderful year. We worked really hard last spring in order to create some momentum and continuing the growth of EIU, and it all paid off. In fall of 2018, we welcomed an increase in our first-time full-time freshmen of over 24%, and the university's overall enrollment grew by over 7%. So everybody's been working hard on campus, and that was our main focus for this past year. And in order to get that done, we had to put a lot of things in place, and they went in very, very well. New programming, we continue working on that and always have new programs that the students are looking for. And we also did some major marketing last year. We know how great EIU is, but if people don't know that we exist, they're not going to come here and explore. So we had a major marketing year last year, and we continue to do it this year to let more and more people know the great value of an EIU education.
And when you think about the marketing, what do you think was the best part? Or have you honed in on what you thought really worked the best?
Well, there's different parts or stages of the marketing. The first stage is just getting people to be aware of you, know that you exist. And then the whole second part of marketing is what we do internally here with our admissions office, our students, our entire faculty and staff, and that is getting students to explore campus, and then we take over the messaging and the marketing. And we show them what the DNA is of EIU and how great the faculty are, the individualized attention, the student-centeredness that we bring to them, the opportunities, and also the fun. And we always know once we can get students to explore campus and to talk to people on campus, they really, really show great interest. And so that was the kind of the two stages. Now we're back to the awareness stage again as we're out there across the state and particularly in our own region and sharing the information about EIU with the hopes that they'll come visit us and finally make that decision to come here.
The 7% really seemed to energize the whole city when the word came out. And we knew we were going to be at, but we didn't know what percent. And then with 7%, and the numbers came out with the freshmen and all of that. So do you, as you look forward to the fall of 2019, is the 7% something you think you could do annually, or is that a gauge, or where do we stand in kind of the thought process?
Yeah. Well, it's always hard to predict. You can only work hard and try to compete with the competitors that are out there. It's a very competitive market in high school, or excuse me, in university education, higher education. And so we have some great strategies in place with incredible people working for us. And we certainly hope to continue the momentum that we started. But you're right, everybody was excited about the increase. The students have been excited about it. I hear from them all the time that they notice more students around campus, more activities to do, more students to socialize with. They've really enjoyed it. Our Charleston community have been very excited. And I don't know if it helped spur this on, but I keep seeing another few new businesses that have opened up recently.
Downtown's hopping,
yeah.
When you look at the square.
And 16.
Yeah, 16 as well.
We've got a few more restaurants that moved up there. I don't want to name any because I'll forget one. And if I forget one, then I'll get some emails later on today. Things are really moving in the right direction, and it's wonderful to see, and everybody's happy about it.
So now this was all part of a huge enrollment plan that enrollment management has put together. Josh Norman is an incredible person. I will say that.
I agree.
So do you want to touch up, if you can, a little bit about that plan? So right now we're kind of in the founding stages, from my understanding. We're still on the lower end of things, but by a certain year we're supposed to be where we used to be, right, with that 10,000 number.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Okay.
the marketing strategies that have been developed over the last couple of years came out of the vitalization plan that the university underwent back around 2016, 2017. And this is the implementation of that. And one large part of that plan was to increase our marketing for the university and get the message out that we have an incredible quality education at an affordable price, providing great value. And so a committee formed by a number of great people who love EIU and know marketing made a large list of recommendations as to what we should do or what we should consider relative to our marketing endeavors. And we've been going down that list. As Annalicia mentioned, our Associate Vice President for Enrollment Management, Mr. Josh Norman, has been incredible. But he's also got this incredible team all working together, and they are working daily, seeing what works, what doesn't work, making changes, being innovative. And instead of being a follower in the marketing regime or plans that we see in higher education, we're trying to be the innovative leader of it. And that certainly was the case in fall 2018. We hope it's going to be the case in fall 2019. But we have a lot of other universities looking at EIU going, what did they do? How did they do it? Because they want to emulate those same strategies that we put in place. So you got to invent more. You got to do new things.
So what was one of the things that Eastern did that was completely different than, say, U of I?
It's not so much different things, it's how it's executed.
Okay.
And we have a communication plan, for example, that has many, many steps of strategy within it. And it is following up and executing it at exactly the right time, knowing the message that we want to send, knowing who exactly we want to send it to. And that's what we did. I would like to think better than anybody else last year, and we're going to continue those strategies.
Now, when you think about being emulated now, when you're the leader, so do you have to throw in a few new wrinkles, or is there different strategy levels in 2019 and beyond that you and Josh or the team's putting together?
Oh, absolutely. I think this year, in the goals of various initiatives, there was about 50 or 55 new things to be implemented for this year in our recruitment strategy. And I heard back from Josh just the other day, and we've completed about 20 of them. We've got another 10 or so in progress, and still others to go. And this is with our graphic designers, this is with our writers, this is with our web designers. This is a very holistic plan that takes in the talents of so many people on campus, and then the brand itself is spread by everybody. It's spread by our faculty, our staff, all of our employees, our alumni, our students, and that's one of the things, our tagline that we've been talking about of being, all in. It certainly has been just that. Everybody is working together in order to make not only a greater EIU, but one that's growing. And as Annalicia asked, do we have a growth plan, for the future? And we do, certainly. We believe in the administration, and I think the faculty would agree, that the footprint of EIU and the way that we offer our education, being so very student-centered and individualized, really our footprint serves best about a population of 9,000 to 10,000 students. Now, at one time, there were 11,000 or 12,000 students on our campus, but it was pretty overcrowded, and we were perhaps missing exactly the model that we have done so well. We've done so well. And so 9,000 to 10,000. Right now, we're at 7,500. And we have an intention to grow that. How long it will take to get up to 9,000 and 10,000 is going to be a few years from now. You're not going to see it next year or the year after that, but we are moving in that direction. And it's not just with our undergraduate students. One of the things that we did so well last year, in fall 2018, we were not only up in undergraduate first-time, full-time freshmen, but we were also up in the number of transfer students that we had on campus, and we were up in the number of graduate students we had. So when you can do all three, that's the admissions trifecta to be up in all three. And so we're going to be moving all of those groups forward.
And on Saturday, we lost a few because they graduated. So talk about commencement fall 2018. And I know that's one of the days that you just smile ear to ear daily. all
I'm
day
smiling
long.
right now just thinking about yesterday or Saturday
Yep.
rather. Graduation is where we see everything that we work every day for. We always talk about student success at EIU and how we are all in for our students. And the culmination of that is graduation day. And there's no other day on campus that has that same feeling of celebration and pride for the hard work that everybody's done, and also the support of the parents and everything they've done to help their student matriculate and become successful. So we had two celebrations, two ceremonies yesterday. They were both great. Senator Dale Ryder was our commencement speaker. Did an incredible job. He had no notes. He got up there. He knew he had 7 to 10 minutes, and he used it beautifully, wisely, and gave a great message to the students.
Not too nice to a class of '84. We got it going on.
But it was wonderful, and a lot of the faculty turned out to see their students graduate, and there was just joy all over campus.
When you think about Eastern and the state of Illinois, everybody's going to want to know where we stand on the EIU budget right now, good, bad, indifferent, and with the new governor coming in, kind of take all that stuff I just said and kind of give us an update of where we are budget-wise
Sure.
with the new governor.
We have been very budget mindful over the past several years, and including this year that we're in right now. Last year, we finished with our revenues and meeting our expenses, so we had a balanced budget, and that's exactly what we want to do. The budget is looking good for next year. We anticipate a little bit more enrollment growth, which will help out our revenue. And of course, starting up in January, the legislators will go back in session. That's when I go back over to Springfield myself as often as I can and encourage our legislators and of course also our new governor-elect, the importance of higher education and the importance of EIU to the higher education in the state of Illinois. So we're anticipating a relatively good year in the budget. The Illinois Board of Higher Education suggested to the universities that they consider thinking about a 10% increased amount of dollars from the state. So that's a good sign. Usually in the past we're told,
The other way.
think about how much to take
With
away.
that 10% and that's state appropriations.
That would be state appropriations. Doesn't
that
guarantee that we would
Right.
get that, of course.
But would that bring higher education back up to where it used to, would that bring Eastern back up to where it used to operate at?
Well, in the state of Illinois, since about 2002, the amount of appropriated money to higher education has gone down.
Right.
And the last kind of measure mark that we used was 2015, which was the year right before the fiscal year 15, right before the impasse took place. With this 10% increase, we still would not be at that 2015 mark, but we would be very close to it. But of course, inflation has taken place
true.
since 2015. But any improvement in our appropriation is we're grateful for. We absolutely appreciate it. And at EIU, we have always pledged to use the state's money very, very wisely and for our students and their learning. We have the lowest administrative costs of all of the universities relative to our size, and that we believe in putting the money into the classroom for our students.
U.S. News and World Report also gave Eastern another great, marking and with their thing. It came out in November. When you get that kind of stuff from a magazine like that, again, is it ear to ear grinning, or do you look at it and say, how can we use this? What's the process there?
Well, first is the grin, and we not only did as well as we did last year, we did better than we did last year. And people always ask, well, how can you be better than being ranked number one? Well, we were ranked number one again in the state of Illinois for comprehensive public universities. But it's wider than that. There's a region that we belong to, and that's the Midwest, which is 12 states. And they compare EIU to schools like us, public comprehensive universities, master's level universities, across these 12 states, and we moved up to number 5. Now that's incredible when you think of all of the universities like EIU across 12 states and be ranked number 5. That says something. And of course, this isn't us talking. This is an outside, unbiased source that's looking at a great deal of different measures, and they're saying this is a place where you can get a quality education, and of course we add to that at a very affordable price. So, why go anywhere else? That's what I say.
Good answer there.
That's what you're supposed to say.
In the recent week, we also have a new EIU football coach. Mr. Adam Cushing comes from Northwestern. You obviously had a chance to meet him, and was at his introductory press conference. Your thoughts on our new coach?
Sure. I met Adam a couple of times before we made the decision to make the hire. And our athletic director, Tom Michael, and myself, and the search committee felt this is a person who could do really, really well at EIU. He's an individual of integrity. He demands accountability, and he is just a really nice guy. And we thought with the successes that he's had over at Northwestern, he's seasoned, he's experienced, he's been there 15 years, that he'd be able to come in and be able to recruit well for us in the Chicago and Illinois area and our surrounding states, and that he would make a great impression on not just our university but also our community, because he's very community minded. He wants all of our student athletes, all of our football players to be members of the community, to be respectful of our community, and to know that wherever they go, they are representing EIU, and they'll do it at the highest level. And I like that sensibility. I like that idea that these young men are out there representing EIU in a very, very positive fashion, and that they understand their responsibilities are not just on the field. They're in the classroom, and they're in the community, and they are in the states in which they visit.
I like that. I like that a lot. And he's a local guy. He's from Springfield, correct? Right? Born in Springfield, I believe.
I thought he said he was from the South Side.
Okay.
Because at the
He was born in Springfield and moved to Chicago.
Because at the press conference last week, that's what he said, that he was...
I could be wrong. I was wrong once before.
Or I could be wrong, too, because when do I ever pay attention to that?
And I'm not weighing in.
He's from Illinois. Let's put it that way. We do know
Because
that.
you're playing it smart.
That's right.
If you went on record saying that you
Well, he
had no
played
idea
at
where the
University
coach
of
was,
Chicago.
you'd be in
There
trouble.
you go. That way.
And he was a great recruiter. We do know that. He was ranked actually as one of the top recruiting guys from ESPN a couple different times when they were, so I think that's the key.
Hey, that's cool.
In football, you have to be able to recruit the kids. Let's switch back to education. I know there's been some changes and some streamlining in some areas of education that you're combining, and give us an update on some of the stuff that's going on in the educational side of Eastern in terms of making this a better university for the students.
During the course of the first part of 18, we worked on reorganizing some of our colleges in order to best showcase the premier programs that we have here at EIU, and that went into effect in the fall. People were worried about it. Kind of reminded me of the year 2000. If you can go back then, everything was going to go haywire and things wouldn't work. Well, it worked seamlessly as we put the sciences with the arts and humanities together. We made education as a standalone college, and we are showcasing business and technology in that college. And so things have gone well. There's been a few people that have moved and a few programs that have moved from one area to another area, but it has been, as I said, seamless, and students have been well aware and supportive of it, and it just made sense. We hadn't done anything like that for over 20 years. And so now students know where to find their departments, they know where to find their majors. We have different groups and departments together that are helping one another, communications and journalism being put together and so on. So it's been really, really good in that regard. And we see that moving into the future as well as very positive additions to our programming.
So will there be additional ones coming down the pike, or are we? I know you can't break a lot of news, but I mean, is there other plans down the road to continue to make it work better?
Sure. Well, the big one that we have right now is electrical engineering. We've always had technology and technical engineering, but we never had a standalone engineering program in one of the big areas, whether it be electrical, mechanical, civil, and so on. And so that came up last year. It went through the university. It went to our board of trustees, approved there, went to the Illinois Board of Higher Education. It's been approved there, and now it's with the Higher Learning Commission, which is our accrediting board. And we know that that's going to be a wonderful new addition in programming. I was looking at our January schedule for our Board of Trustees meeting, and I noticed that Jay Gatrell, the provost, under action items, has 3 programs in there. I can't remember exactly what they are offhand. I just saw them for the first time an hour ago. But we will continue to create these programs that students are looking for that will come to EIU and be successful.
Anything in 2018 that we didn't get done that you know that it's an early 2019 goal to get done? Anything get slipped through the cracks?
A few things. One, in vitalization, besides all the marketing and the enrollment management and admissions and new programs, we're also trying to beautify our campus and update our campus. And in the fall, we had a number of projects slated to take place. Some of them didn't get done. If you look at the Doudna, it is about 3/4 painted. It still has another quarter to go. If you
I thought
go,
that was the point.
no,
I was
it
gonna
would
ask.
be creative, wouldn't it?
Well, it's artsy.
We planned during 2018 to finish the south side of Lance with new steps and a new interior down in the equipment room and so on. Didn't quite finish that one. We had planned in 2018 to redo the bridge between the 2 sides of the student union, and the tiles that we ordered for it didn't get delivered. And so part of our beautification and upgrading the campus is going to spill now over into the spring, where we had some other projects slated there. We want to do the Booth Library steps that are on the north side of the steps.
Yep.
We've got a Panther that the students purchased from the Student Senate that we need to get mounted over, and that's going to be mounted over in the Memorial Garden area that the students will have there. So that will come in as slated for work in March. Robeson Auditorium, which is in the Lumpkin School of Business and Technology. We're going to be redoing that entire auditorium. So people are going to start to see a lot of work taking place on our campus, which is going to, again, people are going to like it. Campus is going to look better. People are going to see that we are not, we are making improvements across our campus, and it's all going to be positive.
So then how are those projects paid for? Is it from state funds, or is it from a combination of both?
It's a combination of both. The work, for example, that will be done in the Life Sciences building, which is about a $5.3 million project, is coming from money from the state. The work at Lance, the work on the bridge, that's all internal money that we're using in order to beautify our campus. One of the things that I said during the vitalization project planning is that we are going to need to make some strategic investments. For example, marketing was a strategic investment. Beautifying our campus and upgrading our facilities is a strategic investment. And we need to do that. We need to set aside some funds in order to have these projects continue on, so that not just our university itself continuing, but the beautification and the upgrading and making sure that our resources and our laboratories are state-of-the-art, so that that's going to encourage students to come and join us here at EIU.
Last week we had somebody from the Sustainability Garden here, and she was really excited about the prospect, and she said it has to go through one more hurdle, but over by the Renewable Energy Center there should be a Sustainability Garden sometime within hopefully the next year. Have you heard about that and excited about that?
I've heard about it. I don't know exactly all the mechanics of it. It certainly sounds good. I know that in the past there's been a community garden, and it didn't continue forever, but while it was being purposed, it was well used and was a wonderful garden out there. So we'll have to see where this one goes. But sustainability.
She is excited about it. They've got all these different people in plan. So she seems like it was something that was going to happen, and everything has to go through hurdles there at campus as well as on the state. But she's pretty pumped about everything, and the fact that they could really do something that was going to save money for Eastern, with some of the food and resources that are left over from the residence halls, as well as the restaurants on campus.
And it says something about our students themselves.
And it's a student-driven
We've got
project.
great students who are innovative themselves. They're entrepreneurial. They're very, very conscious about the environment, and they love the university. So they're all working together to make this a better place for everyone.
A few minutes left, and Lisa, things on your mind that you want to ask Dr. Glassman today? Anything?
With the new administration coming in Springfield, are you excited? Are you, is it? What I should say is it exciting for higher education administrator to deal with a new
Governor.
new governor? Yeah.
Well, there's always challenges, and there's always new discussions, and there's always new education that has to take place. But we are always cautiously optimistic, that we're going to make headway, and that things are going to be always better than they
That's
were.
true.
Because you always want to move forward, you always want to progress, and if you've been in higher education your entire life, like I have been, and you've seen what higher education does for the students who graduate and go on to successful careers, and you know the economic impact that your university provides to the community and to the state, and you know that these educated students are your next generation of leaders and entrepreneurs and teachers and healthcare providers, that it's like, how do you not invest in higher education? And that's the message that I bring to Springfield every time I'm out there, and they understand that, and they know the importance of higher education. It's just that there's a lot of issues, a lot of factors in the state, and they have to make hard choices as how do you prioritize funding, one group to another. But I'm always optimistic that things will always be improved.
As we head into the holidays, are you going to allow yourself a little downtime, or you continue your path of just going full bore all the time, Dr. Glassman?
Well, that makes me look bad if I say I'm going to be leaving now.
I think what I was trying to say is it's okay. You
Are
need
you
some
human?
time.
Are you gonna breathe?
I am going to take a few days
There
off.
you go. That's good.
Absolutely.
I think that's what I was trying to say, and I didn't say it in a very a good way. But I think that's exciting. You do need it. I mean, you do a lot for this university. Every time there's an event, you're there, and so it's just good that you get a few days off. I think. Speaking.
Well, I love the institution, and I love the people, and I love what we do and our mission, and so it's not work to me. That's what I enjoy doing.
We have about a minute left. I'll leave the last words for you if you have anybody you want to thank, or holidays, or just whatever. You're the president. The last minute is yours, sir.
Well, thanks. I absolutely want to thank everybody who supports EIU. I want to thank all of our students and our faculty and staff, the entire community, our alumni, our board of trustees, our legislators, any of the other lawmakers that are out there. Everything that you do to support this institution, we just appreciate greatly, and we want everybody to have a safe and wonderful holiday season.
Well said. Have a great holiday season, Dr. Glassman and Alicia.